Hi everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley. Welcome back to another video. So all along, Prince Harry has made grandiose statements that he is pursuing his cases against NGN and wants it to go all the way to trial. Not for the money, but on principle. He believed he was going to create change by proceeding to trial, which would give the public more insight into what exactly Harry felt so wronged by, what had been done that was so bad that the media needed to be punished by being dragged through a trial. That is the stance that Harry has been publicizing for years. But lo and behold, instead of following through on that, he took a settlement, a big fat settlement. Yes, he did. Not a surprise to most people, not really. Harry rarely does what he says he'll do, and usually when he thinks he's been egregiously wronged, we later discover that was not the case at all. He either exaggerated or lied entirely. Think New York City nearly catastrophic car chase where Harry and Meghan's lives were in danger. Absolutely false. Or his promises to not abandon people, or promises to help with things, or his hypocritical stances on almost everything. This is just yet another one of these moments. Remember a few years ago, Prince William took a settlement against these people as well, and he kept the amount sealed. He took a settlement completely in private. He had no interest in going to trial from the get-go. But it was a massive sum that he has kept very much under wraps, and he took that settlement for many reasons, because it provided he and his family greater privacy, not having to reveal personal stuff in trial, which would then become public. It's less time consuming. It doesn't drive up the time and cost to the court system itself. It was smart to take the settlement, and Queen Elizabeth supported it. And Prince William's settlement included unlawful news-gathering practices and hacking, where he and Princess Catherine's phones were hacked hundreds of times. Prince Harry had been invited to join that case and negotiate the settlement alongside the rest of the royal family, but he refused to participate because he wanted it to go to trial so he could reveal the wrongdoings, and he was being super petulant about it. His logic was grossly flawed, especially obvious now because Harry, making that poor decision, ended up with consequences. Because Harry didn't join in on the real royals' case, he took too long to proceed, and thus was banned from bringing forth hacking as part of his case. Now, Harry was not hacked anywhere near as much as Catherine and William were. Harry was only hacked like a few times, and so it wouldn't have been as impactful to his case anyway. But the judge had shot down the opportunity regardless because Harry took too long to add hacking to his case. So he lost out on that element from his own fault. Granted, it wouldn't have been as significant, the damages, but regardless, it's yet another example of a consequence to his poor decision-making because he ended up settling anyway. So he should have and could have just added on to Prince William's case and had a settlement and whatnot years ago, quietly, privately, not publicized, not dragging all this nonsense through the mud, not racking up all the extra attorney's fees and time and frustrating the judge to no end. All of that could have been skipped, and he would have been able to include hacking. So he got a worse outcome, took more time, just because he didn't want to do what William was doing? Some sort of spite thing? He had complained a lot, in addition, about how Prince William had settled, as if it was the wrong thing to do. But here we are, witnessing Harry doing just that which he criticized his brother for doing, and with a result that arguably was suboptimal. Prince William's settlement amount far exceeds that which Harry got. Prince William donated the majority, if not all, of his settlement. Some reports, I believe I read, he donated it entirely, including donating a small portion, over $1 million, to the Invictus Games, as well as the Prince's Foundation, or Trust, which goes to his projects that he's in charge of. I wonder if Prince Harry will be donating his settlement the same way that his brother donated his settlement. To fire relief, perhaps? He could rebuild a lot of people's homes with that large sum. He likely won't. We know how selfish Harry and Meghan are. They probably won't donate hardly any of it. If they do donate anything, it'll be to R12 Foundation, where they can use 95% of the R12 Foundation funds for their own expenses and overhead. Now, I don't blame Harry or anyone for taking a settlement where they can. It's often the most logical and strategic move in a court case, especially one like this. And it does allot you a lot more privacy. Negating the requirement to testify not only eliminates a degree of stress, but also privacy intrusion on your own behalf. And you don't have to have all your personal information submitted as evidence, all of it. So settlements are a good thing a lot of the time. But this does render a lot of Harry's previous statements and grandstanding and criticizing of William's settlement as hypocritical. So here we have yet another instance where Harry has made himself appear to be a hypocrite. Because he spoke about this case with such grandiosity and for so long, he vowed to pursue this to trial just last summer. He has made himself look foolish, like he gave up, like a cop-out, like it was about the money at the end of the day, and clearly hypocritical. Also, he had already made a lot of mistakes in the lead up to this settlement. He had frustrated the judge to no end. He had been accused of destroying evidence and had been incredibly difficult throughout the case. He had caused so many delays. He was getting to the point where things weren't looking too good for him. He was putting himself in a degree of jeopardy, especially with the evidence-destroying accusations. Therefore, he wasn't exactly in a good position to get a home run win if he had gone to trial, which further makes the settlement seem like he was taking the easy way out on this. But what do you think? At least now the UK won't have to endure another visit from the self-exiled prince. Thank you for joining me for today's video. I hope you have a happy day ahead, and I will see you next time. Bye!